Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So once again, the internet is inflamed, and for a very legitimate reason. And this time, that reason being, Lil Duval took to the internet. Actually, he had taken to the internet, to be more correct, a couple of years ago, and he posted some very disturbing tweets. And these tweets have resurfaced. And when I say that my soul was disturbed whenever I saw these tweets, my soul was disturbed. Now, if you've seen any amount of my videos, especially where I talked about children and stuff like that, y'all should know that I do not play when it comes to kids, okay? Anybody mishandles some children, y'all gonna have to hear my mouth about it, all right? Because that's just how I am, okay? Now, there have been a lot of people who have been saying, listen, these tweets, they're disturbing. It's not okay, because he has a young daughter. I think his daughter is like 10 now. And I think at the time when he posted these tweets, she was like 4. And so a lot of women, which that's quite natural because women are, the more emotional ones. And that's not always a bad thing. It's only bad when we let our emotions rule us. But women are the more emotional ones. They're the more parental, so to speak. Now, that doesn't give excuses to men to not be concerned about what's happening to these kids. But when something happens to kids, usually you see women speaking out the most about it. And not just women with children, because I don't have children. But it shouldn't take having children to speak out about stuff that's happening with kids. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, a lot of women have been taken to the internet and they're saying, we don't care if this was posted X amount of years ago. This was disturbing and he should have been looked into for posting this stuff because it's disgusting. He has a young daughter. And sometimes these men out here, what people forget, there's a lot of men who have daughters, young daughters. They display these same kind of signs. They say these same kind of things. And then 50 years from now, you end up with surviving so-and-so, or the child comes out and, like I said, she's an adult now after 30, 40, 50 years. And then she tells, the whole world, my dad did X, Y, Z. And everybody wants to be shocked as if they didn't see this coming, as if they didn't see the red flags. And what makes it worse is it's a young black girl and her father. People have been saying this all the time. Like, young black girls are much more likely to get assaulted, to get, messed over, so to speak. And usually it's by their own family members. And a lot of these times, the family members display the signs. Nobody just wants to pay attention. And unfortunately, since little black girls are at the bottom of the totem pole of society, right along with black women, they're usually the last ones to get help, if at all, which is really disturbing and it's really sad. Now, with that in mind and knowing that and understanding that, as everyone should, it doesn't surprise me that he did that. It really doesn't. And the unfortunate thing is there are people, and unfortunately it's mostly men, if not all men, making excuses for those tweets that he posted. Again, one of the main excuses is, oh, that was posted years ago. I don't care how long it was posted. Don't none of that matter. Some of these people, I've said this before, they are really just exposing themselves all on Twitter. Like, if any of these people were smart, they would keep their thoughts to themselves. But at the same time, I'm glad that they're exposing themselves so we can know who they really are. Because we don't need people like that walking around and us not knowing what they really thinking. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, it's sad that that's one of the main excuses people are using to justify that. And I haven't seen any videos of him, coming out saying, oh, it's not how I think, that's not how I feel, I'm sorry for posting those, I don't feel that way, you know what I'm saying? Which makes it even worse. And then there's a lot of people saying, oh, he was just joking, it's edgy, it's dark humor, as if it's okay or justifiable to joke about pedo and mishandling kids. In case you didn't know, or you're just plain straight up stupid, it's not okay to joke about that kind of stuff. Like the stuff that he said in that tweet, in those tweets, that's not something you joke about. And I've said this multiple times on the channel too. I don't care what anybody says. These people, they love to say, oh, well, anybody can get it. I'll talk about anybody. But there are some things we ought not joke about. There are some things that's not funny, okay? People, being unalived, that's not funny. Messing with kids, mishandling kids, that's not funny. Okay? The R word, assault, that's not funny. There are certain things that should not be joked about. I don't even like it when people tell racist jokes. And I certainly don't like it when people talk about God or tell, I can see if you're a Christian comedian, you're telling like clean, Christian jokes, so to speak. But there's some people who be mocking the Bible or mocking God in their stand-ups. I'm just like, now, if you want to be in the crossfire of the Almighty, That's your choice. It's a very stupid one, but hey, can't nobody stop you. Like I said, certain things, certain topics, certain issues should not be funny. They're not funny. They never will be funny. End of story. There's nothing funny about what he posted in those tweets. And it doesn't matter how long ago he posted them. It's still disturbing and it's still disgusting. And I'm glad more and more people are dragging him over it. But it's also sad, like I said, that nothing has been done about it. He hasn't apologized. He hasn't addressed it from what I understand, from what I know. And there's too many people justifying what he said. Like, how would you like it then if somebody joked that way about your mother? And unfortunately, you can't even say that with some of these fellas because some of these fellas don't even like their mama like that or love their mama like that, which is sad. But there's nothing in those tweets that was funny. There's nothing that he tweeted that can be justified to make that right. And again, this is why you have so many cases in the Black community about children getting mishandled, people in their 20s and 30s talking about, oh, well, back in the day, dad touched me, uncle touched me, big brother touched me. And then they have the audacity to say, well, why didn't you say anything? They probably did. Or even if they didn't, the signs were there, but y'all were too stupid and ignorant to see it. Or y'all justified it with some dumb mess like, oh, well, it happened this many years ago. Oh, it was just a joke. A lot of times when people joke about stuff, it's not really a joke. A lot of jokes, and I say that with air quotes, are the truth. We really need to stop making this kind of stuff a joke and handle it with the seriousness that it deserves to be handled with. Like I said, there's been a lot of people, they were going through there, mostly women. And by mostly, I mean like 95% of the people, saying there was no justification for that. And if you do justify, then you're just as worse as he is, or you're participating in said activities, disgusting activities. And it's just, again, it's disgusting and it's disturbing to know that that is where the mind of a lot of men are in the community. And it's not safe. And these same men are having daughters. Those kind of men don't need daughters. Actually, we're being honest, they don't need children, period. If you think that what he said was a joke or was okay, you need help. Seek help expeditiously and from both the Most High and a licensed therapist. Also, one thing that makes me really mad about the people who try to justify this kind of stuff is that there are kids that are suffering right now from, like I said, usually people in their own family who display this kind of behavior or talk like this. And they could have gotten help a whole lot sooner if people would have taken it seriously and handled it the way that they were supposed to instead of looking at it like a joke and not taking it seriously. It's like when people joke about certain things, certain crimes, like I said, certain issues that should not ever be a joke. And then everybody wants to get surprised when they get arrested for what they were, quote, joking about. Some people really don't have the capacity or the competence or the common sense or the empathy to take a look at a situation that could become a problem before it becomes one and says something about it or addresses it. For all you people, by the way, who like to justify this kind of stuff, how would you feel if, because you helped justify and enable it, they actually got away with some of the stuff that they got away with? So now you are a part of the reason why this awful, sick-minded person did what they did. But again, some people, because they lack humanity and decency and empathy, they still wouldn't feel any kind of way about it, which is why I'm glad the people, like I said, and the women who were on there called him out for being sick-minded and making those posts, and called everybody else who were defending him sick-minded too for thinking that it was funny, because it's not funny. Anybody who thinks it's funny, like I said, is sick-minded and dumb. But anyways, like I said, I don't play when it comes to these kids. Like that kind of stuff, that's a red flag. Okay, and I missed a time in the community, in history, if there ever really was one, where when people talk like that, they checked you. They said, oh, you don't need no kids if that's how you think. Or they'll, like I said, they'll check you. We don't have that anymore. Or not the way we used to, at least. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all be blessed.